In the world of car restoration, some of the finest, most expensive, fastest automobiles of all time.
Whoa! Oh, man.
As well as some of the rustiest junkers.
This is the better of the two, and it's a piece of
are reborn here at the Guild.
I like that smell there.
Right on.
Because every owner has a dream.
But I can't do without my hot rod. It's an addiction.
And every car has a story.
There, that'll do her. Mopar.
And these are the restorers who turn rust into gold. Monday morning at the Guild of Automotive Restorers.
Hi, Earl. Hey. How are you, buddy?
Larry Hughes, the shop's top mechanic, is back on the job.
Hey, Kenny. How the hell are you, my friend?
Yourself?
Good.
Time no see.
Yeah.
Larry is back after having all kinds of cancer treatments, so, you know, I've got him back, and that's a really great thing.
Larry lives for power, speed, and noise. He's the king of hot rods.
Woo, yeah.
David's giving him the ultimate junkyard challenge.
This is what I meant back here, Larry.
Yeah.
I want to keep this.
Well, what Dave's asking me to do is building what they call a rat rod. It's a car built from a variety of used parts and leftover parts from other projects.
And then what I want is when you lift it up, use this stuff, but I want the gas tank sort of in here.
The whole idea of a rat rod, it's a dollar and cents thing. It originated from people that didn't have a lot of money, but time on their hands.
The rat rod is a distant cousin of the hot rod. 1945. The war is over and servicemen are coming home to a whole new world where the average salary is about $2,500 a year and the cost of a new car is nearly half that.
You know, at the end of the Second World War, guys built rat rods because they couldn't afford to buy cars. They could afford to go to a wrecking yard and spend 20 bucks getting all the bits and making something that they could drive around.
The hot rodders modified cheap old 1930s Ford Roadsters, dropped powerful engines into the lightweight bodies, and turned the old cars into high-performance street machines.
Then it developed and it changed, and the 60s brought up these big customs, and you know, by the 90s, people were spending $500,000 to $1 million building really high-end, high-tech rods.
The recent rat rod scene is a return to the roots and spirit of the early hot rod, a display of wild mechanics and creative aesthetics cobbled together from dirty old bits and parts scavenged from rusty relics.
First thing is we'll go over the engine.
Yep. I mean, I love this thing. And I mean, it says Packard Thunderbolt right on it. It'd be nice to turn this into a piece of jewelry. And then the rest of the car is just rusty and beaten up.
Yep. The Packard engine for the rat rod wouldn't have been my choice at all. But Dave wanted to use it. He wanted something unique and different.
These are co-pilot seat out of an A-26 Invader World War II bomber. You know?
Unbelievable. This thing's going to be incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be neat.
Talk about a junkyard dog. He wants to put a pair of World War II aircraft seats in it. Now, that'll be a joke, but that's what he wants.
Yeah, that's sick, buddy. You need a set of handles.
We have that, too? Just
Are you yeah.
She's got Cadillac lights. He's got old Dodge lights. We're not really having to source parts out from outside the building. Like I said, there's enough junk in here to build it.
Doesn't take millions of dollars to have fun in a car. Whatever they had in their garage laying around, they'd slap it on, make it go fast, take it down to the drag strip and burn the tires off.
Ken, there's been something living in this engine. It's made it its winter home.
The soul and the heart of hot rodding is right there.
Hey, Larry?
Oh, my torches!
Jay, the Guild Star metal fabricator, will help Larry shape the rat rod into a work of rolling art.
Beautiful.
You're good.
I love the idea of doing the rat rod. I mean, I think it's great. It's creative, it's artistic, it's totally different.
The first challenge is fitting David's bomber airplane seats into the narrow cab.
How cool is that seat?
That's going to be a one-man car, though. We have to put the other seats somewhere else.
I can't believe that you can't put two of them in here.
Well, the cab's too narrow.
The only thing that I really want to stick with is the seats. Well, I sort of been saving those for years just for this project.
What do we need 2 seats for again?
Awesome.
This is a chick magnet.
If I'm out picking up chicks, it's not going to be any fun to try to pick them up, put them in the seat way behind you.
Here's the million-dollar question.
Yeah, man.
Would you and your ladies of the evening be able to have sex in this car?
Ladies. No woman would step in this car without a tetanus shot. Not gonna happen.
The women you hang around with?
Oh, Lord.
Across the shop, Tom and Alex are talking to the owner of the Guild's latest multi-million-dollar project.
You know, we can either do this car so it tries to win Pebble Beach or win a class at Pebble Beach and make it as pretty as possible, or we can make it as true as possible.
Chris Orstrom owns the Alfa Romeo project. He completely gets restoration, and that's because he is completely involved in it himself.
Chris is an avid preservationist and social entrepreneur. When it comes to his cars, he expects every last detail to be 100% historically accurate.
This car is very, very important. It's a lot of responsibility. And my aim for this is that when this car is finished, it's going to be as if it had been frozen in the moment of completion in 1946.
And we're basically doing a full-blown restoration to Concours standards, so it has to be 1,000% show quality. This is what sets us apart from Camaros and Mustangs. You can't buy stuff for these cars. It either is made or fabricated, and most of the time from pictures and experience. This is what it means to build a hand-built car. This is how you do it. You beat it out by hand. They make power hammers and things like that to do this job, but to me, this is the proper way to do these sort of things.
Alex is building a front inner fender for the Alfa Romeo. It's a day's worth of work that in the end, no one will see.
So this piece goes way up in here, eventually hides away, and that protects the body from stone chips and stuff like that getting flown and denting it from the inside.
The body work on the Alfa is underway, but another piece of the puzzle is missing: the engine.
Mr. Mike, I just wanted to get back to you on our conversation we had yesterday about the engines. Mike, hold on. Okay.
The Guild's new manager, Mark France, is in the hot seat.
Okay, so you're basically telling me that you're not going to release the engine. You're not going to make it easy for me if I have to go back and tell David that you are not going to release these 2 engines that have been paid.
Several of the Guild's engines are rebuilt by a local shop, but the shop refuses to deliver the Alfa's engine until all the engines are paid for in advance.
Look, I'm going to have a conversation with Dave, and I'll give you a call back, say, after lunch.
He cannot hold the product that we've already paid in full for, that the customer has paid in full for. He's a self-righteous, pretentious prick.
You got to let that stuff slide off your back. I would pay him the $8,900 and get everything that we have out of that shop and get it here. Then it's done.
Well, that's up to Dave.
So I said.
So you talked to him?
I had that conversation with him.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a few issues. They won't release those motors until we pay for everything in full.
Tell him that if he holds those, he will end up with a lawsuit that will break him. I do have a problem with the guy holding the Alfa Romeo's engine ransom against getting paid for engines that are completely nothing to do with this.
The hijacked engine is delaying the multi-million-dollar car restoration. The Alfa Romeo is scheduled to premiere at the prestigious Pebble Beach car competition in a few short months.
It's absolutely critical that we get this damned Alfa engine in this time because, I mean, without that, the whole project just comes to a grinding halt.
You tell him that if he tries to hold those engines hostage and those cars don't get to Pebble Beach, his business will not survive that.
The Guild's latest project roars into the shop.
Looks pretty good to me.
Nice, eh?
This 2003 Ferrari 575M Maranello looks like it's in perfect condition, except to its owner.
I'm a car nut. I'm like a gearhead, so I love these things. I love machines. And that's my baby, so I got to look after it. And they'll do it. Well, when I was putting it away for storage, I came across the bubbles coming along the weld here. Things like this, I want to make sure it's done right away, otherwise it'll continue and just eat everything up.
A couple little rust bubbles might not look like a serious problem, but for car fanatics, rust is a deadly cancer.
I don't want to replace the hood. I looked at the price on that the other day, $27,000 just for the hood, so.
Is that all?
That's all, yeah.
When we're dealing with vehicles like the Ferrari, these are six-figure cars. These are more than vehicles to people. They're members of the family. They tend to be very attached to the vehicle.
So I took it to you guys because I want a good job, and I know you guys do good jobs, so here it is. Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
To them.
See you later.
Okay.
I'm going back to work.
Mark's attention returns to the Alfa Romeo's missing engine.
Okay, Mike. Okay, talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
The engines for the multi-million-dollar Alfa and several of the Guild's other projects are being held hostage.
In order for me to complete this project on time and get these cars to Pebble Beach, I gotta get those engines back. I came to a decision where we are going to pay out the balance for those motors and go and pick them up.
Did you speak to that idiot?
Yes, I did.
What's going on with the engine?
He's got them all ready for us. Again, we'll bring him a check to pay out
For
the
what?
balance.
No, they're paid for.
All but one, the Diamond T motor.
Yeah, but we're not. I don't want to pick up the Diamond T motor. I don't care about that one right now.
Right now, I'm not very happy. The engine builder's got 4 of my engines. I want the Alfa engine back. He's saying, well, you can have it back, but you got to pay for all the engines at the same time.
They better come back. They're not to be held hostage against some $8,900 bill.
I'm just worried about reprisals.
So we're paying him?
Just to release the Diamond T, and then we cut the cord with him.
Just it pisses me off. I'm just fed up with these
We'll pick
guys.
up everything and divorce ourselves from this company, and we never see them ever again.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
On the other side of the shop, it's all about the rat rod. Larry's prepping the frame to support an old Packard engine.
It'll be underpowered. It's just not my cup of tea. It's not going to have the punch to it that I'd like to see in something like that. But it'll serve the purpose that he wants. He doesn't want a speed demon.
To improve performance, Larry mocks up a new steering rack.
Old Packard engine is really heavy, and this little steering box isn't going to cut it. I would like to use this. It's modern. It's a modern steering rack. It was brand new, but it's much more efficient than an old steering box.
Oh, I see you got rack and pinion on there, eh? Be nice
Yeah,
and,
you know what? I mean,
And it's the first thing the boss notices.
it's all clean and shiny and stuff.
We'll make it look dirty somehow. I took it upon myself to make some brackets and install that on the front axle, and it would have been a nice, modern, safe, dependable steering system. But as soon as Dave saw the new part, he said, no, I don't want that. Take it off.
You couldn't have found some beaten up rusty piece of crap to stir with, could you?
At that moment, I thought to myself, oh boy, he's not getting this. He hasn't been listening. I don't want power steering. I don't want shiny anything.
It's a junkyard dog. I don't want any new parts going on. Rat rod is just not, there's no new parts.
Yeah, yeah.
It's too modern of a part. It clashes with the rest of the idea of the car, which, in a sense, I understand. In a way, I do agree with them, but the car has to steer and brake and function in a safe manner, and that's the direction I was going in.
When you do the headers, let's do a similar sort of 1930s rocket ship look to the headers.
Okay, yeah. You know, Larry's used to doing that a certain way. You know, he's never done a rat rod before. It's a whole new thing to him. So, I mean, you gotta kind of stick true to that. You don't just want to go out and polish everything, put on all the little shiny bits. You know, that's more the hot rod end than the rat rod style.
Jay.
Yeah.
I gotta get you off down to California for probably 2 days. You okay?
Okay. I think Dave, asked me to go to Los Angeles to actually see, what's going on with the whole rat rod scene and actually see just the car culture in general there. I mean, that's where it all started, really. What about, like, everything I got going on here?
Well, you know what? You're just gonna have to drop it for a couple of days.
Jay just sort of slipped into this whole rat rod thing, mainly because he's got that same kind of edge to him.
I want to make sure that this is getting done right. I would go, but I just don't have the time.
Okay. I get to go to California.
Jay's cruising with Bert Coda, the rat rod master of Los Angeles.
Bert's been involved, building rat rods for, quite a while. He's got a build, featured in a magazine. He's a couple that he's got currently on the go. He's a talented guy.
All right, well, this is it. My little old place. I was a bit intimidated when I heard about who was coming and the shop they were coming from. But knowing it was rat rods they were looking for, well, that's what we've been doing.
Bert's rummaged through junkyards and backyards for every kind of car part for over 25 years.
These little deals right here, a lot of people will ask what these are.
I was wondering, yeah.
I usually puff my chest out and say, well, they're spurs,
Yeah.
Sounds macho. Actually, what they are, they're from a garden weasel. This over here, this came by all by accident as well. This is a panic bar for an auditorium door. The headlight buckets right here, I just took off. These are 28, 29 Ford, and this effect is just done over the top of the chrome bucket.
The California rat rod scene has come a long way from the days of being dismissed as a bunch of amateurs.
A lot of people were cutting up stuff and building stuff that wasn't safe. We wanted to kick that up a notch, make these things safe, and make them respectable. And that's what we did. The whole hot rod scene here in Southern California is just incredible. There's a lot of talent that's all over this place. You get a glimpse of some really cool stuff that nobody else has seen.
I love it.
Next stop, the local hangout. Checking out Southern California's cutting-edge rat rod scene.
Super stoked. I mean, you look in any magazine, you see anything, any car show, anything going on. I mean, every car is coming out of California.
Check this one out. Hey, this is twin turbo Luke.
Hey, nice to meet you, Jay.
Like, these cars are just outside, basically parking lot, taking up a mini mall plaza. And everybody's hanging out, everybody's talking.
This is Rick's right here. We call him our transmission guy. He does all our trannies.
Everybody knew each other.
Jay, this is my neighbor, Steve.
Hey,
Steve,
nice
this
to
is
meet
Jay. So you should see the pictures of this car when it was found.
I've been sitting in a back of a junkyard for 50 years.
You see all these super cool cars, and you see everything that they've done, and everything just starts going in your head.
Corey, this is Jay.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Tell them a little about what you built.
Go-kart on steroids.
Yeah.
Put the wheelchair in the back, pull it out, hop in, all custom.
I'm thinking, okay, well, we could do this, we could do this, we could do this, but you also don't want to copy everything that's somebody else has done.
What's the deal with the blades?
Just to cover up the intake because it's ugly.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
You kind of just sort of pick all the really cool things you see on the mall, which is a lot of stuff.
The more times you walk around it, the more stuff you find. Actual beer can, right? Yeah.
And then find your way with it, sort of adapt it, get ideas of what you could do, with your own build.
I said, let's go drive. Let's go take a cruise.
Perfect.
At the Guild, new manager Mark is making some changes.
Oh, looking good. So here's the board. This board will give you a quick synopsis as to every single job, what stage it's at. The way I like to look at it is, if I got hit by a truck on my way home, this business continues to move forward because everything is on the wall. Looks great, Ralph. Yep. It looks really great.
One little addition and we're done.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mark's money-saving, profit-making, foolproof whiteboard doesn't impress.
Do you know how many boards I've seen in the last 25 years? I'm just waiting for the first one to actually work.
What this board is a live document. All of the jobs that we're going to have are going to be on this.
Mark just unveiled his whiteboard, and we've done it before.
You just break that into 2 columns.
Okay, we can do that. We'll just have to get a sharper pen.
Should have used thinner electrical tape.
I think.
Mark says he wants to make some changes, but we'll see. We'll see how things go.
We can all work together and, you know, make this a lean, mean machine. We'll all benefit in the end. Thanks, guys.
It looks a lot more professional, so it looks better than a chalk on a board.
Okay, you go first. What is this, X's and O's? Tic-tac-toe.
Kill the time, I guess.
Yeah.
Next break, we'll play a game.
Jay's not playing games on the West Coast. He's touring the Southern California rat rod scene.
I'm in this badass car ripping down the road. You look around, you got one in front of you, one behind you. All these super low, super mean, aggressive cars, and you're ripping down this road, and you got the ocean on the one side, and like it's a dream come true. Like, that's unreal.
Rat rod expert Bert Koda will introduce Jay to some of the top pros.
You'll find that these guys don't keep secrets. Everybody's very willing to share their little tricks of the trade, you know?
We went to John Moss's shop. He's got brass junkie.
Welcome to Brass Junkie.
Thanks. He's kind of an artistic genius, I think. Like, his work is fascinating.
You gotta look in all the nooks and crannies in here to find everything.
He doesn't just do, you know, cars. He does furniture and, you know, woodworking. He's kind of on another level again.
It's my coupe. It's my 32 coupe. Well, this particular finish, it was pretty much raw metal when I got it.
Really? It's something that, you know, we could definitely incorporate into our car, the rat rod we're building at the shop.
Well, I can give you a quick sample right now if you got a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Sure, no problem.
Yeah.
He actually showed me how to take a new piece of steel and apply a few simple techniques, and you come out with this rusted, patinaed finish.
Wow. But you see, I didn't spend a lot of time, but, you know, you can get some really cool effects in there. You know,
It's exactly opposite of, you know, what I'm used to doing. I'm used to getting rid of all that stuff.
You get those moments in your life where, you know, you feel like you've actually, like, really learned something and you feel like that much more enriched. And like, this is totally one of those moments. Cool. Like, yeah, I'm totally overwhelmed, dude.
I can't wait to see what you pull off.
Yeah.
Definitely send me some pictures.
I will.
Yeah,
I will.
Great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Let's get to the next place.
Oh yeah, back in.
We got more tips to pick up.
Jay's headed over to Hell-Trained Street Rats, another pack of rat rod fanatics.
How's it going, Mitch? These are the guys that are stepping up the game. These guys that you're visiting, these guys that you're riding with, we want that look. But more importantly, it's the quality.
It's funny because, you know, people typically they think, okay, rat rod, not a really huge job, but it is a big job. Not only does it have to look super cool, look mean, it's got that tough old rustic look to it, but it's got to be safe.
This is Zane Cox's shop. He's got an aviation background, and he likes his rat rods to be mechanically and structurally sound.
The rat rod scene has kind of evolved. They're not the same cars that they were 10 years ago. I mean, they're really put together well, and you know, you can drive them with confidence. We go with suicide steer. You look here, we sourced a doorknob for the shift.
Zane Cox has showed me a lot of really cool stuff.
Built the fuel cell and put it under the floor.
But then explained something to me that was, you know, so simple, but yet, you know, never really thought of it.
When I built my frames, I set them on a 2x4 and a 4x4.
He was telling me how he lays out and builds his chassis and sets up and does the build for the car.
If you set your frame on that, when you're done, it'll be at that. Weight on wheels.
Jack the car up. When you're all said and done, you slide out that 2x4, and that 4x4 is your ride height. That's how low your car's sitting.
Well, that's my trick to getting the ride height.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's old and dirty, but it's, you know, it works the charm, and this frame is truly as square as it can be.
When I get back to the guild, that's the way I'll do ours. Like, I'm definitely gonna use that trick.
Appreciate you coming by.
Come on inside, Jay.
Now it's back to gathering intel for the Guild's Rat Rod project.
What we would do at our shop is I take that down to bare metal and we paint it all up nice and make it look pretty.
And that's exactly what we're not gonna do for this. This is a patch panel. This is exactly how I found that car when I found it in the shed.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm gonna take this aluminum oxide and fire this off. What it's gonna do is it's gonna give us a smoother finish. Take this pad, spread some of that love rust around.
Love rust, eh?
Yeah.
See, in our shop, we call that cancer. Any little piece of rust on our panels at the shop, I mean, they gotta go. That's gotta come out. And Bert here, I mean, he spreads it around. Like, that's, you know, share it with the rest of the panel. Don't try to get that piece out of there.
Take any kind of brown or anything you want to do. This is just, like I say, what it worked for me.
Okay.
Now, you take whatever you want and run with it and take it up there. They're going to think you're crazy. You know that when you get to the shop and start doing this stuff.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to go back there.
Dave's going to think you're nuts.
Dave's plan was, you know, he's thinking, okay, we'll leave it. You know, the rust that it is sitting there, you know?
Right.
I'm thinking, you know, I can just totally change the whole look.
You think you could change Dave? To accept that?
I'm gonna have to.
Work on it. Good luck.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna take this off and you're gonna see how three-dimensional this looks. Let's put it right here. So you can see what we're doing and what we're bringing it to. This is the first time, Jay, that I have shown somebody how I get this finish. So you and me are like blood brothers now, paint brothers, man.
All right.
I'm excited that they're going to take back something for me that was just something I do that I thought nobody pays attention to, and they're going to take it up there and use some of it.
And so you can see basically what the car is like.
Look at that. Amazing. Like, he's totally blown away. And you did it like that.
Right.
All right. I can't wait to get back to the shop and try this stuff.
There's no love rust being spread around at the Guild. This Ferrari 575M is headed straight to the paint booth so Barry can erase these tiny bubbles. They're telltale signs of corrosion.
It's kind of a boring job, doing small little intricate blow-ins like that. I'd rather be airbrushing something, but it has to be done.
Barry prefers the challenge of intricate artwork.
These are all bikes that Barry painted, and so he did the artwork, and I'm seeing them for the first time, blown away. They're phenomenal, you know, like everything Barry does.
It's just boring as hell. After all the masking, sanding, primer, all that crap, bubbles are gone. It's awesome.
A few steps away.
Paul, engines are in, eh?
Yes.
The engine of the multi-million-dollar Alfa Romeo has finally arrived for a small ransom.
It's a lot of pieces missing.
Oh, really? One of the most stressful things I've got going on right now with the bloody Alpha is that I find out that the engine has gone out to this blithering idiot engine builder, but he hasn't finished the engine.
Fuel line's got to be made, the dipstick, all the water lines from the water pump up to the manifold, and we're going to have to make some pieces for it.
Oh, that's nice.
After paying over $23,000 for the engine rebuild, David discovers the job is not up to par.
They've assembled it, but they've used modern, completely wrong
I know we got to change
hardware.
every nut and bolt
So,
on the
you know,
external.
when you look at this damned engine, it's covered in modern hardware. It's crap. So we'd have to take the whole damn thing apart and put in all the right hardware. You'd think having dealt with this for I don't know how long that they would know better, because I just don't trust anybody when it's not done here. If I was to drop this engine into this car and take this to a concours and we opened the hood for Judge and he looked at that, he'd just walk away and go tick, 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 tick. And that would mean we wouldn't even be considered.
Alrighty.
Alrighty. Good, Paul, thank you.
Yep.
While the boss stresses over the multi-million-dollar Alfa Romeo,
Well, hello, Jay, and welcome back. How's California?
Amazing. Amazing.
Nice, nice.
Great.
Jay's got one thing on his mind.
Well, if we all went at her, by next week we could be driving it.
A rat rod.
Getting back to the Guild, you know, after being in California and, Just seeing what they do out there.
It's got to come down at least that much.
I saw right away that the car had to come down.
That's way too far out.
You know, Larry just kind of took liberties and went in his own direction with how he thought, you know, the rat rod should be built. Start cutting. But I can see some necessary changes. I was taught out there by this guy, Zane, was to build the car on 4x4s with a 2x4 on top. So you build your whole car sitting on that. When you're done, jack it up, pull out that 2x4, and that 4x4 is your final ride height. Because your sag, with all the weight and everything in your vehicle...
It's 2 inches.
Yeah, it's going to be that.
No, see, now that's clever.
Isn't that genius? Yeah. Typically with rat rods, I mean, they're low, lean, and mean. And the initial chassis that Dave wanted to use for it needed to be modified in order to make that happen, to get that look.
So we're dropping it down. It's going to have 4-inch clearance on the bottom?
It'll look good.
Yeah. The way I would have set it up on a frame table would have taken 2 days. The way Jay sets it up on the floor takes about 2 minutes. Okay, good. Well, I'm glad it was productive.
Well, that was a direct insult to me because I'm the one that worked on it. I think what was happening, Dave didn't really know what he wanted until Jay come back and informed him how the pros, quote, are doing it in California.
Like it or not, this junkyard dog goes for a full-on reverse engineering.
Body is welded to the frame, so I'm gonna have to cut her loose. I'm not sure if I feel bad for Larry in any way. I mean, he's building a car the way he knows how to build a car. He's a hot rod builder.
He might as well said, well, Larry, what you've done is a fucking mess. It's got to all be redone. That's what it means to me.
Now there's probably nobody around to help.
When Jay got back from Los Angeles, all of a sudden, the rules changed.
Jay, Larry.
Yeah.
Can I grab both of you for a second?
Dave calls me into the metal shop. Dave says, we have to completely change our game plan with it.
Because I know there's been a little bit of tension, you know? So I just want to cover off things as far as like this being a team, okay? I sort of had to go in and bang their heads together because I need them to be a team. I don't need one guy to be mad because the thing's not going his way, because at the end of the day, it's got to go my way. Jay was always supposed to be doing the metal work on the thing, and you were always supposed to be, you know, working on, you know, all the mechanical stuff and everything during the build, and I'm the guy designing it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to get anything new on this car. Like, I really want that front power steering unit off.
That's what Jay said, yeah.
Yeah, because I want to have an original, original power.
I understand.
Yeah.
I dove into it a little bit too quick myself. I should have slowed down a bit, but that's okay. Live and learn.
Basically, what's going to happen now is we got to drop it. We're going to move it back, give the engine some more room, right? Widen it in the middle, narrow it in the front.
Yeah, we can do that. That's not a problem, yeah.
It's good, you know. I'll do the metal. He does the mechanical. It's a pretty good pair.
This is it. I mean, this is a dream team, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. There's no reason why that shouldn't work out real good.
All righty. Good.
It's great.
I like it.
On another front, there's progress on the Alfa Romeo's engine rebuild.
Oh, I'm just sorting out nuts and bolts and fittings and through the book trying to figure out like the lines, the fuel lines, the water lines and all that kind of stuff, what they're supposed to look like. But another issue here is it's all in Italian.
This looks like a job for the Guild's new manager.
I was looking for someone to tell me what these words mean.
Where do you want to start?
Try anywhere.
I'll decipher all of this for you. I'll print it out in English and I'll bring it out to you.
You will.
Is that good?
That sounds...
Give me 2 minutes. We spoke Italian in the house, but when you grow up, if you don't use it, you lose it, kind of thing. Condensatore inserito in parallelo dispositivo. DIS, POS, varia. Okay, device in advance to control automatic centrifugal force varies depending. R-U-T-T-O-R-E rispetto. And there we go. Paolo, I got you a nice and beautiful translation.
That's awesome.
Okay? Thank you very nice. Eh?
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. Say arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. There we go. That's proprio.
What are you laughing at?
Oh, what's going on over there? Arrivederci. Holy soprano.
Finally, the Rat Rod revamp kicks into high gear.
Getting less and less of it all the time.
Getting lighter and lighter. It had to come down. The body had to get lower. I mean, it was sitting on a, like a hot rod angle. It was a total breakdown at that point. Take the body off and then start with the chassis. It was almost a complete start over.
I'm gonna pull this into position. Can you tack it for me?
Yeah, we're getting somewhere now. In hindsight, I'm glad that what happened did happen. In a way, it let me sit back, pull back a bit, and say, yeah, the way this is now is the better way. It's the right way.
It's enough. Perfect. Thank you, sir. Good old teamwork.
Now Larry's ready to fire up the old scavenged Packard engine.
I'm looking forward to this engine firing up because I've had it hanging around for years, never heard it run. Seeing it as a living, breathing entity is going to be great.
There was an old engine that was sitting upstairs full of rust and dirt and all seized, and it's alive again.
Pretty good, eh?
She's good, yeah. Pressure's good. I like it.
In the world of car restoration, the end game is a happy client.
I'm just getting the Ferrari ready for the owner to come in and pick it up. It's been sanded and polished, and looks awesome.
It was a small job, but for the owner, it's all in the details.
I like the GT look. I like the long hood on the front and the short back on it. Like the V12 aspect of it, the Ferrari V12. It's just the way it drives. When I started it up and the sound from that V12, and it was just perfect. I'm ready to go, open the garage doors and launch me.
Drive safe and let me know if you need anything, okay? Take care.
Across the shop, the Guild's premier restoration project gets a break.
So how you doing?
The Alfa Romeo's engine is close to being fired up.
This engine's got to be ready for a major event in the States in August. If it's not, it will be a huge embarrassment to everybody. The owner, the company, me personally. I mean, we have to have it ready. Can I hear it?
Yep, sure.
It works. Yes, it sounds awesome, actually.
With a roaring engine, the Alfa Romeo can move on to the next phase.
It's all starting to come together. So, once the engine is in place, I start to feel a little more comfortable.
Major milestone.
It is a major milestone.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Sharon on Saturday night.
Every summer, the small town of Sharon, Ontario, is home to the Saturday Night Cool Country Cruise In, a family-friendly gathering that regularly draws over 200 cars. Out here, anything goes. Vintage cars, collector cars, muscle cars. And tonight, the Guild's Rat Rod.
It was a real good feeling getting that car out in the ground, get it driving, let people see it, Driving through this crowd, all these people. It was good.
Nothing like anything I've seen before.
You know, you get all the mixed reactions. You see lots of people giving you a thumbs up, waving. You got other people just looking at you like, what the hell are you driving?
It's art. It's art, really. It's fantastic.
This rat rod is the Guild's new mascot. David designed it, but all the restorers contributed a little something.
Yeah, this is my son, Sayer. It's my mini-me. My daughter, Sal.
It looks like a medieval devil bicycle.
You know, and a lot of this, the owner of the shop, Dave, a lot of this is just stuff he had. Like, this was something he'd wanted to do for a while.
There's so many different little touches in this, holy jeez. At first glance, you know, you see the rust, you see the rough, and then you start looking, and it's all these little individual tweaks that the guys put in.
And your 4x4, that's your ride height. So that 1.5 inches from the 2x4,
yeah,
that's your sag. That's how she's gonna settle.
Jeez.
So simple, so genius.
Whose idea was the bat wings?
That was something I made. So I just started cutting steel and made those.
No, that's totally amazing. Well, the whole car's amazing.
Thank you. This is the guy here that did all the painting. This is Barry, our painter. He did all the airbrushing on it. Yeah.
You can't get your eyes off of it. There's always something different.
So this is a real cool, off-the-wall piece of work. The straight 8, the whole combination is so wrong, it's right.
In the end, this is what I like to do. It's part of you. Even though it might be somebody else's car and you built it, there's part of you in there for sure. Hey, you guys gotta check this out. Open the door. Look at toilet paper.